It's somewhere around 4:30, almost 5 in the morning, maybe. I am wide awake, more or less, because, yeah, the word of the day, children, is shanked. Because I have 3 spots in my spine, 3 spots, that feel like they're being shanked. Lovely. Yeah, that's what happens when you have metal rods and hooks and screws in your spine. It's not a pretty picture. It feels like somebody's daggering you. It's too brute. Ow. It hurts. But again, I should stop being so negative again. Cling on ridges. Cling on ridges. Oh. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, no, what was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, my rant from earlier. Yeah, no, that was, craziness, because I finally decided in my life, not to be the family doormat. This is one particular side of the family who treats me as a doormat. They have always considered me as weird and different and blah, 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 blah. I'm just not going to let anybody, let alone family, do that to me anymore. So I'm very glad that the people involved and targeted with my Facebook post were kind enough to unfriend me on Facebook, because I'm not going to deal with that headache anymore of people trying to control me. Where it's really not their right or privilege either to do. So yeah, I'm happy. It gives me less of a headache, and I can get on with talking to you guys instead. So yeah, I was hoping to talk to Dad today later about him give me a lift down to the border so I can go down and visit my fiance who lives on the other side of it from me. I can't drive. I can. I know how to drive. I did have a driver's license. I gave it up a year and a half ago because, frankly, fused spine, too much pain, legally blind one eye, deaf, fused neck vertebra. Driving is not a good idea, especially now that my spine is getting more and more fused. It was a shoddy idea in the first place, but I had to do it to prove that I could, and I did for several years. But the pain of driving just became too much, and I could no longer do it. And I gave up my car after a few years of letting it sit and all that kind of stuff. So. We will live without the vehicle. We will live without the driver's license. I can survive without that. I have family, I have friends, I have buses if I can. But my dad was going to drive me down on the 22nd. I was hoping, maybe Dad could drive me down this week. I kept him and my niece from getting to sleep right away last night. Hi, deaf guy can't always control his volume, especially when somebody else is yapping into his ear. Which was what was happening. So, on the one hand, though, I can understand it. I can intellectually understand it. I can't, viscerally understand it, because I've never had the privilege of being able to hear everything when I'm falling asleep. I have to take hearing aids out after all. But on the other hand, you have control over how much you hear. You can get earplugs. I can't control how much I hear. I can't always control my volume. I do my best. But frankly, I spent 34 years trying to control my volume for other people. I don't have a choice in my disability. You have a choice in how you deal with your end of it. But, to be fair, I am trying my best to keep my voice down, keep my volume level. I'm not saying screw you. I'm saying, let's meet in the middle, please, because there's some aspects of this I can't control. And I want to be able to participate in what I want to participate in without having to worry as much about whether or not somebody else is going to have their toes stepped on. You know I'm deaf. Please try to make accommodations. I'm trying my best to make accommodations. It's not easy to do when you're taking in two senses out of kind of one eye and a half an ear. 1.5 units of input with 4 units of where 4 units of input are supposed to go. It's going to be overloaded sometimes. The other thing I was going to tell you about, I tried to sit still there. I did a pretty good job, but I had to get up. You'll see me wandering like this a lot. One reason for that is it's a pain management. It helps me to control how much pain I'm feeling, because if you stay in one position too long, everybody knows this, if you stay in one position too long, your muscles and your joints and everything get stiff, and sometimes you when you're getting up. Even as a kid, you get like pins and needles in your feet and stuff. So that's the biggest affectation for me. I have to move, otherwise certain spots will get too intensely painful. And so I'm trying to compensate and move around. The other thing you'll see me do with the movement is what has been dubbed by my fiance and her sons the Lawrence spin. The Lawrence spin, and you'll see it. You'll see me spin around, do my spinnerets. Because there's two things here. First, I have fused vertebrae in my neck, which means that your spine has several joints linked together, all little discs and bone and cushion bone. Two of those bones are fused together for me, so they're stuck in one, which limits some of my range of motion side to side, up and down. And the other thing is you'll see me with my head like this. My head tilts. It tilts like this. Here, I'm going to try to stand up for you. There's my shoulders. My shoulders aren't level either to the ground. My shoulders are actually a little bit like, which way? Yeah, my shoulder, my right shoulder is slightly higher than my left because of my scoliosis, and then my neck tilts like this because of the vertebrae in my neck that are fused, and also because I have a muscle condition called muscle hypertonia. Hyper meaning more than, tonia meaning tone. So my muscles are super toned, which means unlike your muscles, mine are like super tight elastics, and they want to just... I sleep in a fetal position half the time because my muscles just want to contract. And it also it makes my head tilt like this, and again, affects some of the range of motion in my neck. You'll see me spin around, wander, move. Even if I'm in the same room, I'm moving half the time, and that's an affectation of pain issues and other health conditions. If you're having trouble, watch my nose. I try to keep my nose as close to the middle of the stream as possible. Because I'm not watching my camera, which is right here. I'm not watching the camera. I'm watching my lips. I'm watching my lips so that I'm actually more or less certain of what I'm saying. Because I read lips, and I'm actually, in a sense, fascinated with what I look like right now, because this is relatively new for me. I'm used to my face having a whole lot less hair, and I'm used to my hair being different quality and all these other little things. So I'm rememorizing my own face, even though it's changed very, very gradually over the last year and a half or two. It's fascinating to be able to see these aspects from a scientific perspective as well as from a faith perspective. Scientifically, I've read up on transsexual and transgender issues, know that gender expression in terms of sexual organs and genital representation is not an either or, it's a spectrum, and scientifically it's classified as on a scale of 8. On one end you're female, on the other end you're male, and I'm watching myself go through that scale from one end to the other. I was never on the one end to the other. I was already somewhere closer to the middle than the end, but I was classified on the female end when I was born, based on the way I looked, not the way I behaved or the way my body was, my internals are. It's how I displayed phenotypically to the medical professionals, which means it's just how I looked. They determined it on how I looked, not how I might have felt or how I might have expressed myself physically, internally, in terms of my organs or my genetics. I had so many other freaking things going on though, so it's just like, really, one more thing? Because I was born with this ear like this. It was actually surgically brought out a couple of times to accommodate an ear mold for hearing aid, and I was born legally blind in my right eye as well. I was born with only one kidney, and they discovered also a fused vertebrae in my neck when I was 14 days old. They discovered a lot of these things, little things, when I was 14 days old, because the doctor came in and did his little baby physical on me, and they already knew about this. It was obvious. It was like, get this out of the way. It was more like this kind of, it was more like this nub thingy on the side of my head instead of what it is now, which is still a ways away from the mirror image of this that they were hoping to do eventually. I just said no. At 13, I said, no, I don't want to do more surgery just so I can have 2 ears that look the same. I didn't care. I still don't. I'm happy with this. It just reminds me that, yeah, I was born with this. And that translated into doctor giving me my baby physical, and he said, kid feels like it's got only one kidney. Sure enough, they tested. I only have one kidney, so they said, let's do a number of other tests. So they discovered my eyesight, my hearing, my neck, my kidney, as well as the muscle condition, which as an infant, I was constantly in the fetal position. My parents actually had to wrestle me out of it to change my clothes and other items. So I'm quite a package. Yeah. So there's another layer of whoops, this is this guy for you. Yeah. So that's a bit on why I spin and why I'm the way I am. And tune in for more. I think I'll take my chance next time on something a little bit more intellectual maybe, or a little bit more planned at least, because up until now I'm basing my stuff on what I will feel like babbling about. So, alright. Talk to you in a bit, guys.